Governor Sarah Palin. I'm not sure she needs introduction. Here's the governor.
And knowing that this cause is so worthy, proceeds helping with our troops, I can't think of a place that I would rather be than here today with all of you. You who love our country so much and are willing to fight to defend our republic, doing all that you can to make sure we turn things around, putting America back on the right track. It is an honor to get to share with you today. Beautiful to get to be back in the Great Lakes state. Todd wishes that he could be here, and the kids, it's the middle of our commercial fishing season, so Todd had flown his little 185 float plane over from the Bristol Bay Fishing Grounds to try to get on a commercial flight, and we couldn't connect all the different airline connections that we needed to make, so I'm here without my entourage, which normally would have been Todd and Piper and Trigg, so. And the big kids are all in school. We have a soft spot in our heart for Michigan, though. I shared before that our son, our oldest, he got to spend his senior year of high school in a town near Kalamazoo playing some tough competitive hockey. And I've always said, oh my goodness, Michigan took good care of our son, and now our son is helping take good care of you in the United States military. And I see our troops out there, I see our veterans. If you love your freedom, think a vet. God bless you guys. Tell you any state, though, that would love hockey and hunting and snow and cars, that is a state that I feel perfectly at home in. I'm just sorry that we had missed, though, the Grand Prix on Belle Isle last month, and I guess we're a little bit too early for the Woodward Dream Cruise because Todd and I, we like our cars, we like our rigs. In fact, one of the attractions I had to Todd back in high school, he was 16 and he was the new kid in town, and he showed up in Wasilla with a restored old Ford Mustang and a Ford pickup truck. He was the only kid I knew who had a vehicle, much less two vehicles, and because he was a commercial fisherman, he bought him himself, he restored him himself, and that work ethic that still bodes so well for him today was such an appeal back then that I know that he wishes that he could be here to kind of get that spirit of the rigs, the vehicles, the cars that so many of you all are really into kind of as an avocation, that restoration of old rigs maybe in your spare time. But you know what, today it seems like we don't have a whole lot of spare time because things are moving quickly and we have a lot of work that we need to engage in again in order to turn this country around, putting it back on the right track. We don't have time to waste. Summer days are so precious, and I know that today you could be anywhere. You could be engaging in, you know, kids' ball games or picnics or just having fun with your own kind of self-interest time, and instead you're here for such a worthy cause. You are here along with all of these good patriots. We are here together because we know that restoration of our country is the most important thing that we can engage in today. So I thank you for spending the time choosing to be here today. You're here because of your love of country and your willingness to fight for American exceptionalism. You know, the Tea Party was born of this concern and of this crisis. Americans for Prosperity, other good groups like this, the grassroots members being very, very engaged and energized, understanding how important the timing of all of this is. In 2008, folks, Barack Obama promised to fundamentally transform the country that we so dearly love. To fundamentally transform the country that our U.S. military, our proud veterans have been willing to die for. To fundamentally transform this country that grew to be the most prosperous, safest, freest nation ever known to man. Why would anybody want to fundamentally transform what is so good and free and strong about America? What is wrong with someone who would want to transform what is great about America? Well, for all of the radical left's failures and broken promises, that transformation is the one thing that has been delivered on, transforming us from a powerful, proud nation of hope to one of anxiety and of dependency. Today, 1 in 5 working-age men, they're out of work. 1 in 7 Americans, they're on food stamps. 30% of our mortgages are underwater. Shoot, there are places in Michigan which have felt this suffering unemployment number, the likes of which have not been seen since the depths of the Great Depression. Well, President Obama, if that's what you call hope, then we want change. 4 years ago, we were delivered this pitch about hope. But instead, we were delivered change for the worse. And now, Barack Obama is pitching himself as the defender of the middle class, which is nonsense. Under his leadership, middle-class families have seen their net worth plummet to the tune of 40%. This hopey-changey agenda wiped out an entire generation worth of prosperity, 20 years of hard work and savings, gone in just 4 years of Obamonomics. Can you afford 4 more years of this? I hear him chant, 4 more years, and heck, we can start chanting 4 more months. 4 more months. 4 more months. 4 more months. And that's it! November's right around the corner, folks. Really, middle-class families, home values decimating, and retirement savings disappearing, and paychecks shrinking. Meanwhile, anybody who shops for groceries and cooks for your families, you know that the price of groceries has risen about 7% and the cost of health care up about 10%. And don't even get me started on Obama's promise necessarily skyrocketing energy prices. It doesn't have to be this way. Remember, candidate Obama promised that he wouldn't raise taxes on the heart and soul of the economic engine of our nation, which is the middle class. This is the hardworking middle class that he promised he wouldn't touch. But in that point, he wasn't telling us the truth, because the only way that he could even begin to fund his signature mother of all unfunded mandates, Obamacare, was to slam us with the largest tax increase in U.S. history. 76% of this tax is going to be paid for or taken from those making less than $120,000 a year. And what is the return on this investment that you're making in our government? It's worse health care, because it's going to be more expensive with fewer doctors being able to provide services for more and more enrollees forced into the program. That's Economics 101, and that's nonsense. Also, and you heard a little bit about this with earlier speakers, you're going to see the rationed health care by a government board of faceless bureaucrats who will make the life and death decisions regarding what healthcare services can be provided to you and to your loved ones. And I don't know about you, but But to me, that sounds like a death panel. But friends, the first casualty of Obamacare, it's going to be our middle-class mom and pop small businesses. That's our backbone. 70% of our jobs are created by our mom and pop small businesses. It's another broken promise, because while voters were told that the promise was going to be job creation as priority number one, instead the radical left rammed through this giant job-killing regulatory behemoth. True, Obamacare did create thousands of jobs, 16,000 of them for the IRS agents. And maybe that aspect of Obamacare should be called No Bureaucrat Left Behind Act. Yeah. For the rest of us, though, job growth is stagnant. For the past 41 months, we've seen record high unemployment. Things have to change. Now, how does the nation's top CEO, our president, how does he respond to this? Well, in their statement explaining last month's dismal job numbers, well, in the report, the White House wrote, and I quote, "It is important not to read too much into any one monthly report." Well, the month before, in May, they wrote, and I quote, "It is important not to read too much into any one monthly report." And in April, and I quote, they wrote, "It is important not to read too much into any one monthly report." Do you see a pattern there? Folks, they wrote those exact words 30 times in their official statements over the last 40 months. Now, the lamestream media gets these reports, and yet they give the White House a pass on such a thing. So we have to point it out. We have to hold them accountable. We have to note it and bring it to light, because the lapdogs in the media let them get away with that kind of BS. And that's why it's the era of citizen journalism, and that's why you can all participate in this. Thank goodness. You know, I think there are a lot of things that President Obama thinks, quote, "it is important not to read too much into." I'm sure they don't want us to read too much into the fact that under this regime, our nation's credit rating was downgraded for the first time in our history. And you shouldn't read too much into the fact that while candidate Obama promised to cut the deficit in half, instead he tripled it. Don't read too much into the fact that his attorney general was cited for contempt of Congress. That's a first.
Yeah.
Under Operation Fast and Furious, the Obama administration armed violent Mexican drug cartels, who then used the U.S. supplied weapons to murder hundreds of innocent people. And let me go out on a limb here and predict that we will find a connection between this tragic blunder of a mission and the anti-Second Amendment officials who love to give all firearms a bad name. In their efforts to move towards erosion of our Second Amendment rights and to insist on even more government gun control. Granted, I say this as one of those bitter clingers, clinging to my God, my guns, and my Constitution. I join you in being one of those proud bitter clingers, I guess, then. Good. See, I feel right at home. Oh, and don't read too much into the fact that these bankrupt green energy companies that got all these sweetheart government grants and loans, hundreds of billions of your hard-earned tax dollars and borrowed money from China, these insolvent, uneconomic companies, well, they have ties to Obama donors. It's more crony capitalism on steroids. And don't read too much into the fact that Barack Obama and his allies recklessly mortgaged our children's future to the tune of $5 trillion in new debt. That's billions of dollars every day. That's $3 million a minute. We can stop this insanity. The same guy who claimed that he could actually turn back the rise of the oceans and heal the planet, he's really constantly adrift. He's got no plan, he's got no budget, no plan that will work, because it always only involves just growing more government and spending more of your hard-earned money and growing more debt, taking more from you with that boot on the neck of our job creators. We can stop this insanity. Our message to Washington needs to be, don't read too much into this, but American workers have had a belly full of those broken promises. And here today in Michigan, at an AFP event in Michigan with Tea Party patriots who really are just independent, constitutional conservatives, so concerned about defending the Constitution, our republic, allowing our country to become solvent again. And it's amazing to me that our president seems so intimidated by you all. But in an event like this, I tell you, somebody sent Trig the other day a little t-shirt that said, "I'm a little teapot." And you know, yeah, okay, we're little teapots, and we're getting steamed up because Obama's tipping us over, pouring out, and draining that entrepreneurial spirit from us, that which grew America into the most exceptional nation ever known. Well, Barack Obama said just recently, he said that what is at stake this year is two fundamentally different visions for America. Like, amen, brother, he's right. It's two different visions, right? 2012 is a race between the party of big government and the party of big freedom. The radical left's fundamentally different vision is for a fundamentally transformed America at odds with everything that made this country great. Unbelievably, our president declared that, oh, well, shoot, yeah, he believes in American exceptionalism, just like the Greeks believe in the Grecian exceptionalism. You know, he could equate the two, and his vision for America definitely is making us just as exceptional as Greece, all right, with debt crisis and stagnation and permanent joblessness and uprisings and all. Our president's vision for America has downsized and outsourced American prosperity. Our vision, though, our vision is for a fundamental restoration of all that is good and strong and free in America. Our vision is of a restored America where government lives within its means instead of growing more unsustainable, immoral debt. It's a vision of a restored America where hard work is rewarded and encouraged and not demonized and punished. It's a vision of a restored America that cuts taxes to create a pro-growth environment to make us again the most competitive country in the world to do business, where politicians don't get to pick the winners and losers and pretend that centralized government can somehow successfully plan the economy. And then we're expected to rely on these experts who got us into the mess to begin with, and now they serve on their super duper committees and commissions, and they just keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Bottom line, from Obamacare to every other albatross that is wrapped around our job creators' neck, we must must get government out of the way, and we must let the private sector breathe and grow and thrive again. Only that will give that confidence to our businesses that they need to expand and then to hire you. Our vision is of an America as an energy superpower where our abundant God-given natural resources are responsibly tapped so that middle-class families can enjoy good-paying energy sector jobs, and U.S. industry again gets fired up with domestic reliable sources of energy so they can expand and grow this economy. Stimulus that we've been waiting for. It's domestic, robust energy production that just needs an allowance to go forth. We have the resources, and we have the manpower, and we have the technology, and we have the need to reduce our trade deficit, and only we can ensure environmental standards because we have the toughest on the entire globe. And energy is the foundation of every thriving economy. Our president doesn't understand that we need to make it the foundation of ours. Our common sense vision is the exact opposite of Obama's nonsensical manipulation of U.S. energy supplies. It's time to quit talking about drill baby drill and mine baby mine, and finally allow that production to take place, allow those pipelines and refineries to be built, and it's time to quit bowing and kowtowing to dangerous foreign dictators asking them to ramp up production for us. History here in the auto industry, I think made in America, right? Well, when it comes to energy, what's wrong with made in America energy? What do they have against American energy? Relying on dangerous sources from foreign regimes and warring over foreign oil makes no sense. I promise that tapping our plentiful supplies brings real job growth, not the politicians' phony green jobs fairy tale, that kind of snake oil sprinkled green utopia where I don't know what they're thinking. Unicorns are prancing and, crossing their fingers hoping that glitter and lollipops will fuel up your Ford pickup truck someday. It's a fairy tale. We need a hardcore, blue-collar, all-of-the-above energy policy that recognizes the inherent link between Made in America energy and our security, and Made in America energy and America's prosperity. Folks, we've got billions of barrels of oil untapped. We have hundreds of trillions of cubic feet of clean natural gas. We have more coal than we would know what to do with. We're just waiting for government approval, and we have so many pending projects that are waiting in the wings. They'll create more than 1 million good-paying U.S. jobs once government gets out of the way and lets the private sector do what it does best. It's true stimulus, and it doesn't cost the government a dime to say, go forth, private sector, do what you do best. Energy is the foundation. Our economic revival starts with our energy revival. Our vision is of an America where healthcare is affordable, it's patient-centered, and it's market-driven. And that's accomplished, like everything else, by empowering the people, the individual. Government should let us purchase healthcare policies across state lines. Opening up markets to competition, that puts downward pressure on costs. And if government would let us and our small businesses pool together to get more affordable insurance rates and give our small businesses the same tax breaks that they give their big industrial friends with all the high-paid attorneys and lobbyists lobbying for their tax breaks. Well, if they give the same break to our small businesses and allow more flexible health savings accounts, so again, individuals have more control over their health care choices and availability instead of more government control. And they've got to finally get serious about tort reform. And come on, Congress, President Obama won't do it, so we're counting on Congress to do this one for us. And folks, our vision, it isn't just about energy, nor just about health care. It's about fostering a genuine free market attitude where everyone has the opportunity to get ahead, not just those who grease the wheels of government power. It's a vision where our Constitution and the rule of law is respected again, not disregarded by the whims of a president who seems to be an imperial president today, deciding which laws he chooses to enforce and which ones he wants to ignore in an election year. Now, for the past 4 years, Barack Obama has whined about, quote, the mess he inherited. Oh, Mr. President, with all due respect, what you inherited is the leadership of the greatest country on earth. So please, no more blame games and no more lectures from the presidential podium about how we commoners just don't understand. Because we do understand. We understand that his vision is bringing America to her knees, and our vision will have her standing tall and proud again. It's of individual liberty and empowerment. It's of free men and free markets. It's the vision of the pilgrim and the patriot, of the pioneer and the hardworking immigrant. These are the heroes, those of you who have served, are heroes who proved in liberating strife their selfless love of country. And it's the enduring vision of this land which God has certainly shed his grace upon. This vision is our birthright. Remember, our founders declared that we were born the heirs of freedom. We are the sons and daughters of that greatest generation who stormed the beaches of Normandy and raised the flag at Iwo Jima. Our freedom was secured by millions of patriots throughout our history who charged the cannons and they prayed in the trenches, and those who suffered in the POW camps. And right here in Belleville, Michigan, at the Willow Run plant. Remember, here is where you built the arsenal of democracy all those years ago. You made the B-24 liberators that helped win the war. You helped win a war to save the world from the greatest darkness it had seen. So many sacrificing families here today who have lost loved ones, making that ultimate sacrifice so that we can be here today. So many sacrificing so much. I won't squander what they purchased for us or what the next generation expects of us. Today, our generation, like that greatest, also has a rendezvous with destiny. It is our destiny to fundamentally restore this great country, to secure its blessings of liberty and prosperity for ourselves, for our posterity. Just as it was secured for us. This is our sacred sacred duty to the past and to the future, and we will succeed. So help us God, we will succeed. Now the socialist liberal vision has been consigned to the ash heap of history again and again, so I don't know why the White House wishes to repeat it. But our vision, remember, our vision is rooted in time-tested truths that have made us strong. The truth that government that governs least governs best. The truth that the Constitution provides the perfect path towards a more perfect union, and that only limited government can expand prosperity and opportunity for all. That new, innocent life that is precious and purposeful deserves respect, whether some of these innocent children are considered by our superficial society as perfect or wanted or not. They deserve respect. And our vision is one that believes that freedom is a God-given right, and freedom is worth fighting for. And really, the real hope, it's not in any politician. It's in providence and in the strength and the moral courage of free men and women. Now, the challenges in front of us can seem so daunting. I don't want you to be bummed. I don't want you to lose courage, and I don't want you to lose hope and faith that things can be turned around, though the challenges do seem daunting. We must not lose our sense of optimism. Please, we must regain that optimistic pioneering spirit again in honor of all those who have fought for freedom. They carved a nation out of the wilderness. They rewarded strong work ethic. They were united, and they committed to making the United States of America the strongest, most prosperous, freest nation in the history of mankind. By God, we can do it again. Are you willing to do it again?